Whitney Houston's family swore she was clean. The autopsy found cocaine in her system, used hours before she drowned. 10 R&B legends, 10 autopsies, 10 lies exposed.
I can't find the words to tell you so.
A pilot flying high on cocaine, a doctor convicted of homicide, a jail that let a man die, then paid $4 million to hide it. These aren't rumors. These are coroner reports, and they contradict everything we were told. Number 10, James Brown.
I feel good. I knew that I wouldn't.
Christmas morning, 2006, Atlanta, Georgia. The godfather of soul, the hardest working man in show business, was pronounced dead at Emory University Hospital.
You know, and I feel nice.
James Brown was 73 years old. His death certificate listed the cause as congestive heart failure brought on by pneumonia. Natural causes. Case closed, except the doctor who signed that death certificate never believed it.
So good, so good.
Dr. Marvin Crawford treated James Brown in his final hours, and in a 2019 CNN investigation, he said something that should have made headlines worldwide. He changed too fast. He was a patient I would never have predicted would have coded, but he died that night, and I did raise that question. What went wrong in that room?
I feel good. I knew that I would.
Dr. Crawford recommended an autopsy immediately after Brown's death. Brown's daughter, Yama, refused. No explanation given. Here's what the medical records revealed, even without an autopsy.
So nice, so nice.
Brown's urine tested positive for cocaine. A nurse reported that a mysterious male stranger visited Brown's hospital room, and immediately after that visit, his vital signs crashed.
So nice, I got you.
Drug residue was allegedly found in his breathing tube. A friend named Andre White was so convinced of foul play, he took a vial of Brown's blood from an IV line. He still has it, waiting for someone to test it. 13 people connected to James Brown, including his widow, his son, and his former manager, have publicly called for an autopsy or criminal investigation. The doctor who signed the death certificate thinks he was murdered. The family blocked the autopsy.
I feel good. I knew that I wouldn't.
And Brown's son-in-law, Darren Lumar, who went on television in 2007 saying James Brown was killed. He was shot to death in Atlanta 1 year later. That murder remains unsolved. James Brown's missing autopsy may be the biggest cover-up in R&B history, but the next artist's autopsy did happen, and it proved the public wrong about everything. Number 9, Tina Marie.
Every time you come around, I feel my world starts turning.
December 26th, 2010, Pasadena, California, the day after Christmas, the day after celebrating her daughter Aaliyah's 19th birthday. Mary Christine Brockert, the Ivory Queen of Soul, known to the world as Tina Marie, was found unresponsive in her home. She was 54 years old. Now here's where the public narrative went completely sideways. Tina Marie had publicly acknowledged overcoming an addiction to prescription medications. She'd been open about her struggles. So when news of her death broke, the assumptions were immediate. Drug overdose. Had to be. Another R&B legend lost to addiction. Except that's not what the autopsy found at all. Los Angeles County Assistant Chief Coroner Ed Winter stated definitively no illegal drugs were found in the home where she died. No cocaine, no heroin, no illegal substances of any kind. So what actually killed Tina Marie? The autopsy revealed she died from a grand mal seizure. But here's the twist. Investigators found diazepam, an anti-seizure medication, at her home. The medication she was supposed to be taking. Friends told investigators that Tina had stopped taking the prescription medication because of its side effects. She'd switched to herbal remedies instead.
Well, sometimes I just can't hardly speak.
1 month before her death, she'd suffered a grand mal seizure so severe it broke 2 of her ribs when she fell. She was so terrified of having another seizure that she had someone sleep in the same room with her every night. On Christmas night, that person left in the morning. By the afternoon, Tina Marie was gone. The public assumed drugs killed her. And the autopsy proved the opposite. She died because she stopped taking her medication. The Ivory Queen of Soul wasn't defeated by addiction. She was defeated by the side effects of the very medication keeping her alive. But while Tina Marie's autopsy cleared her name, the next autopsy pointed directly at people who should have been protecting an artist, not killing him. Real talk. Only 9% of you are subscribed. That hurts. We're spending hours digging through archives, fact-checking every detail, bringing these stories back to life. And if you're watching this far, you clearly care. So hit subscribe. It's free and takes 2 seconds. Now, to my subscribers, barely any of you have joined the membership. And honestly, that stings even more. You know the work we put in. You keep coming back. If these videos have ever made you feel something, if this music means something to you, join the membership. It's $1 coffee a month and it's the only way we keep this going. Let's build this together. All right, back to it. Number 8, Shaun Levert. March 30th, 2008, Cleveland, Ohio. Shaun Levert, 1/3 of the 1980s R&B trio Levert, son of OJ's legend Eddie Levert, died at Lutheran Hospital.
So let me squeeze you.
He'd been in custody at Cuyahoga County Jail for less than a week. The jail's official statement was immediate and confident. Natural causes, nothing to see here. But Shaun Levert's family wasn't buying it, and neither was the coroner.
I can't find the words to tell you so.
When the full autopsy results came back, they revealed something the jail desperately didn't want anyone to know.
I really feel, 'cause I can't let you go. I need you.
Shaun Levert died from complications of sarcoidosis, an inflammatory lung disease. But the coroner listed a contributing factor that changed everything: withdrawal from alprazolam, Xanax.
Time is so much better spent, baby.
Here's what actually happened in that jail cell.
You see, I ain't much on.
Shaun Levert was jailed on March 24th, 2008 for owing child support. When he entered the facility, he brought his prescription anti-anxiety medication with him.
Girl, I'm an average guy. You seem to know just how.
Xanax, that he'd been taking regularly. Medication his body had become dependent on. The jail refused to give him his medication. According to court documents, jail policy required inmates to be evaluated by a psychiatrist before receiving Xanax.
So let me hold you.
Shaun was scheduled for that evaluation trial on April 8th. He died on March 30th. For 6 days, guards watched as Shaun Levert hallucinated. They noted he was acting strangely. They observed his deterioration, and they did nothing. His widow, Angela Lowe, filed a wrongful death lawsuit. The case went to federal court. In the end, Cuyahoga County and Midwest Medical Staffing, the company that managed healthcare in the jail, agreed to a $4 million settlement. No admission of guilt, but the money told its own story, and it didn't stop there.
What you mean to me each day, babe?
In 2020, the Ohio State Legislature passed Shaun's Law, legislation named specifically for Shaun Levert that reformed how Ohio jails handle inmates' prescription medications. The jail said natural causes, the autopsy said withdrawal, and the law that now protects Ohio inmates says the system killed Shaun Levert.
A woman just like you in my life.
But if Shaun Levert's autopsy exposed institutional negligence, the next autopsy exposed a lie that had been running for decades.
Time and time again. Oh, Casanova.
Number 7, Rick James.
When I came home last night.
August 6, 2004, Los Angeles, California. The man who gave us Super Freak, the architect of punk funk, the artist so influential that MC Hammer's entire career was built on sampling him, was found dead in his Burbank home.
Give it to me, give it to me, give it to me, give it to me, give it to me.
Rick James was 56 years old.
Out all night just dancing. You say let's go home. Come on, Rick.
Within hours, his publicist released a statement that would define how the world remembered his final chapter. Rick James died of natural causes. The narrative was clear. After his prison stint in the 1990s, 3 years for assault and false imprisonment, Rick James had cleaned up his act, reformed, left his wild days behind.
What you say? Give it to me. What you say? Give it to me. What you say?
At least, and that's what the family wanted everyone to believe.
You wouldn't even.
The Los Angeles County coroner had other ideas. When the autopsy results were released, they didn't just contradict the natural causes narrative, they demolished it. Rick James had 9 different drugs in his system at the time of death. Let me read that list. Cocaine, methamphetamine, Xanax, Valium, Wellbutrin, Celexa, Vicodin, Digoxin, and chlorpheniramine. The coroner determined the official cause of death was a heart attack. His heart was enlarged, a condition called cardiomyopathy. He also had pneumonia and complications from diabetes. He'd suffered a stroke in 1998. But here's what makes this autopsy so damning. None of those 9 drugs were at individually lethal levels.
You wouldn't make love to me. You went faster.
The coroner noted they contributed to his death rather than directly causing it, which means Rick James wasn't killed by an overdose. He was killed by years of accumulated damage, compounded by active drug use on the night he died. The family maintained Rick was clean and sober after prison. The autopsy found cocaine and methamphetamine, street drugs, not prescriptions, in his system. Someone was lying, and the toxicology report couldn't be bought. Rick James' autopsy exposed a family's attempt to protect an image, but the next autopsy exposed something that sent a doctor to prison.
Give it to me, baby.
Number 6, Michael Jackson. June 25th, 2009, Los Angeles, California. The moment the world learned Michael Jackson had died at age 50, the speculation began immediately. Decades of tabloid coverage had painted a picture. Michael Jackson was frail, sickly, addicted to plastic surgery, a shell of his former self. When he collapsed in his rented mansion on North Carolwood Drive, most people assumed his deteriorating body had finally given out. The autopsy told a completely different story. When Los Angeles County Chief Medical Examiner Dr. Lakshmanan Satyavagaswaran completed his examination, he was surprised by what he found. Michael Jackson was healthy. His heart was normal. No signs of the cardiovascular disease that plagues so many people his age. His lungs were clear, except for some chronic inflammation that didn't contribute to his death. His body weight was 136 pounds, thin, but not dangerously so for his frame. The king of pop, the man tabloids portrayed as barely clinging to life, had the internal organs of someone who could have lived for decades more. So what killed him? 2 words: propofol intoxication. The autopsy revealed lethal levels of propofol, a surgical anesthetic, in Michael Jackson's system. Also present: lorazepam and midazolam, 2 benzodiazepines. But here's what made this autopsy unlike any other on our list. The manner of death wasn't ruled accident. It wasn't ruled natural causes. The Los Angeles County coroner ruled Michael Jackson's death a homicide. Dr. Conrad Murray, Jackson's personal physician, had been administering propofol to help the singer sleep. Propofol is meant to be used in hospital settings with proper monitoring equipment. Murray was given it in a bedroom. In November 2011, Dr. Conrad Murray was convicted of involuntary manslaughter. He served 2 years of a 4-year sentence. The autopsy didn't just expose a crime, it exposed decades of lies. Michael Jackson wasn't some fragile creature being kept alive by pills and surgery. He was a healthy 50-year-old man who was killed by a doctor he trusted. The tabloids were wrong. The autopsy proved it. Michael Jackson's autopsy sent a doctor to prison. But the next autopsy exposed something even darker, a pilot's secret that killed everyone on board. Number 5, Aaliyah. August 25th, 2001, Marsh Harbor, Bahamas. Aaliyah Donna Houghton had just finished filming the music video for Rock the Boat. The shoot wrapped early. A Cessna 402 was chartered to fly the 22-year-old singer and 8 others back to the United States. The plane never made it. Moments after takeoff, the overloaded aircraft crashed into a marsh just 200 feet from the runway. Aaliyah was killed instantly. The initial narrative focused on the plane. It was overloaded, by some estimates, more than 700 pounds over its maximum weight limit. Too much video equipment, too many passengers, a tragic accident caused by poor planning. But when investigators examined the pilot's body, the story changed completely. Luis Morales wasn't just an unqualified pilot flying a plane he wasn't licensed for. His autopsy revealed cocaine in his urine and traces of alcohol in his stomach. The man responsible for Aaliyah's life was impaired, and it gets worse. 12 days before the crash, less than 2 weeks, Luis Morales had been sentenced to probation for crack cocaine possession. He had a documented drug problem, a criminal record, and he was allowed behind the controls of an aircraft carrying one of R&B's brightest stars. For years, the narrative held that Aaliyah was eager to leave, that she insisted on boarding the plane despite warnings. But in 2021, Kathy Ayandele's biography, Baby Girl, revealed something that contradicts that story entirely. According to multiple sources, Aaliyah was so nervous about the flight that she refused to board. A member of the entourage allegedly gave her a sleeping pill. She was then carried onto the plane unconscious. The pilot's autopsy exposed his impairment. The investigation exposed his fake credentials. And 20 years later, witnesses exposed what may have happened to Aaliyah in her final moments of consciousness. She didn't choose to get on that plane. Aaliyah's pilot autopsy exposed a criminal behind the controls. But the next autopsy exposed a lie the public had believed for decades about the nature of mental health. Number 4, Phyllis Hyman. June 30th, 1995, New York City. In just a few hours, Phyllis Hyman was scheduled to perform at the legendary Apollo Theater, a career-defining moment for the R&B chanteuse known for her soaring vocals and commanding stage presence. She never made it to the stage. That afternoon, Phyllis Hyman was found unconscious in her Manhattan apartment. On the nightstand, a bottle of Tuinol, a powerful barbiturate sleeping pill, and vodka.
I just wanna be the one you give your love to.
She was 45 years old.
I just wanna be your girl.
The public narrative that emerged was almost romantic in its tragedy. Phyllis Hyman died of a broken heart, failed relationships, loneliness, the curse of the torch singer who could never find love of her own. But the autopsy and the suicide note she left behind told a far more complicated story. The toxicology report confirmed what investigators suspected. Phyllis Hyman died from an intentional overdose of barbiturates combined with alcohol. Suicide. Her note was brief, devastating. I'm tired. Those of you that I love know who you are. May God bless you. But here's what the public narrative completely erased.
I used to spend my time just working for a dollar.
Phyllis Hyman had been diagnosed with bipolar disorder and clinical depression in the 1980s.
With only one desire, seeking fortune and
She'd struggled with addiction, alcohol, cocaine for years.
all your boy, I've only got one ambition. That's the win.
Her weight had ballooned to over 300 pounds, affecting her health and her self-image.
the power of one.
And in 1993, she suffered a devastating blow that would shatter anyone. Within a single month, she lost her mother, her grandmother, and one of her closest friends.
You know I ain't no saint, I ain't no politician.
The lonely torch singer who couldn't find love narrative was a lie, a comfortable fiction that reduced a complex mental health crisis to a simple romantic tragedy. Phyllis Hyman wasn't killed by heartbreak. She was killed by untreated bipolar disorder, compounding grief and a lifetime of pain that the music industry exploited but never addressed.
That's to win your heart.
The autopsy confirmed barbiturate overdose, but what it really exposed was how we talk about mental illness, especially in Black women, when the truth is too uncomfortable to confront. Phyllis Hyman's autopsy exposed our failure to discuss mental health honestly. But the next autopsy exposed a secret an entire industry helped keep hidden.
I just wanna be your girl.
Number 3, Gerald Levert.
Never thought you bring me so much pain.
November 10th, 2006, Cleveland, Ohio.
Yes, you did. Got the nerve to take my kids.
Gerald Levert, the voice behind Casanova, one-third of Levert, son of O.J.'s legend Eddie Levert, was found dead in his Cleveland home. He was 40 years old.
That you could take for granted and disregard us.
The immediate reports were predictable. Heart attack, sudden cardiac death, a tragedy, but a natural one. For a Black man in his 40s, especially one who'd struggled with his weight, the narrative wrote itself. Heart disease is the number one killer. No one questioned it, but the Cuyahoga County coroner's autopsy exposed a truth far more complicated and far more preventable. Gerald Levert didn't die of a heart attack. He died from acute intoxication, a fatal combination of prescription narcotics and over-the-counter medications.
And now I'm sitting all alone,
The drugs found in his system read like a pharmacy run amok. Vicodin, Percocet, Darvocet, Xanax, and 2 different antihistamines. The coroner also noted he had pneumonia, but the cause of death was clear. These drugs, combined, created a lethal cocktail. The manner of death, accident. Gerald's family insisted every single one of those medications had been prescribed to him by doctors. He wasn't abusing illegal drugs. He was taking what medical professionals told him to take, which raises an uncomfortable question. How many doctors were writing these prescriptions? Did any of them know what the others were prescribing? Was anyone tracking the cumulative effect of all these medications in one man's body?
Taking everything.
The public said heart attack. The autopsy said drug interaction. And the real culprit may have been a healthcare system that hands out prescriptions without ever checking if they'll kill you. Gerald Levert's autopsy exposed a prescription drug crisis, but the next autopsy exposed a family secret that reduced a murder charge. Number 2, David Ruffin.
It's not that I don't love you.
June 1st, 1991, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. At 2:55 in the morning, a gray stretch limousine pulled up to the emergency room at the Hospital of the University of Pennsylvania. Inside, the unconscious body of David Ruffin, the voice of my girl, the man who made the Temptations legendary. The driver told staff his passenger had overdosed, then vanished into the night. An hour later, David Ruffin was pronounced dead. He was 50 years old.
And it's not that I found someone.
The autopsy confirmed what the driver had claimed. Cocaine overdose, accidental, case closed.
And I'd rather leave you holding on.
But David Ruffin's family wasn't focused on the drugs. They were focused on something else, the money.
Every time you touch my hand.
David Ruffin had just returned from a wildly successful month-long tour of England with fellow former Temptations Eddie Kendricks and Dennis Edwards. The tour grossed nearly $300,000. Ruffin had collected the cash from the promoter. He was supposed to wire Kendricks and Edwards their shares that weekend.
But I don't understand, so I'm leaving.
When police searched his body at the hospital, they found $53.
Will we go someday?
His agent, Ruth Bowen, told investigators Ruffin had been wearing a money belt with at least $40,000 in it. His fiancée confirmed it. His tour partners were waiting for their cut. All of it gone. Police traced Ruffin's final hours. He'd borrowed a limousine from a friend named Butch Merle. A man named Donald Brown drove him to a crack house in West Philadelphia around 10 p.m. According to reports, Ruffin and another man split 10 vials of crack cocaine in less than 30 minutes.
To take the place of you.
Then Ruffin collapsed. Brown loaded him into the limo and instead of calling 911, drove him to the hospital and disappeared. The briefcase Ruffin had been carrying recovered, but the traveler's checks inside missing. The money belt never found. Police questioned Donald Brown. No charges were ever filed. Here's what makes this autopsy so tragic. After a 1989 stint in rehab, David Ruffin had publicly claimed he was clean. His collaborators believed him. Eddie Kendricks trusted him enough to let him collect $300,000 on behalf of the group. The autopsy proved Ruffin was still using, but it also proved something else. Someone was with David Ruffin when he had $40,000, and someone left David Ruffin when he had $53,000.
Every time you touch my hand.
The drugs killed him, but the money, that remains an unsolved mystery. David Ruffin's autopsy confirmed addiction but left robbery unanswered. But our final autopsy exposed the biggest lie in R&B history.
You know how much I do.
Number 1, Whitney Houston.
So goodbye, please.
February 11th, 2012, Beverly Hills, California. The night before the Grammy Awards, Whitney Houston was found submerged in the bathtub of Suite 434 at the Beverly Hilton Hotel. She was 48 years old.
Of this, I wish you love.
Within hours, her family's PR machine was in motion. Pat Houston, Whitney's sister-in-law and manager, gave interviews insisting Whitney was not using drugs in her final days. The narrative was clear. Whatever happened in that hotel room, drugs weren't to blame. The Los Angeles County coroner disagreed. When the autopsy results were released, they didn't just contradict the family story, they made it impossible to believe. The official cause of death was drowning. Whitney Houston slipped beneath the water of her bathtub and was unable to save herself. But why couldn't she save herself?
Life treats you kind.
The coroner identified 2 contributing factors: atherosclerotic heart disease, the gradual buildup of plaque in her coronary arteries, and cocaine use.
Darling, I love you.
Cocaine was found in her system, not from old use, from use shortly before her death. The toxicology report also found marijuana, Xanax, Flexeril, and Benadryl. The coroner noted that while these drugs were present, only the cocaine, combined with her heart disease, contributed to the conditions that led to her drowning.
Don't cry, we both know.
And there was more. Investigators found cocaine drug paraphernalia in the hotel suite. A white powdery substance, later confirmed to be cocaine, was found on surfaces in the bathroom. Whitney Houston wasn't just a former user who had relapsed. The evidence suggested active, ongoing use up to her final moments.
Bittersweet. Man.
The family said she was clean. The autopsy found cocaine. The physical evidence found paraphernalia in the bathroom where she died. Someone was lying to protect an image, and the coroner's report made that lie impossible to sustain. But here's what makes Whitney Houston's autopsy the most important on this entire list.
I hope you have all you dreamed of.
Her death wasn't just about drugs. The autopsy revealed that heart disease, years of cardiovascular damage, played a critical role. Whitney Houston was 48 years old with the arteries of someone much older, and nobody in her circle had helped her address it. The drugs got the headlines, but the heart disease, that was the silent killer no one talked about.